Welcome back to Voltage Bros, where Kenny today will be showing his ideas that he has researched for Mistborn actors. Mistborn is a really awesome book by Brandon Sanderson. Who are the actors going to be? We know there's going to be a movie eventually. There has to be.
We've known in the past that there's been things in the works. You know, I'm excited for it, but it's always fallen through. We've heard talks of TV shows, of movies. Brandon Sanderson has even talked about it himself. But every single time, it falls through. So we decided, let's just start casting ourselves. It's taking too long.
Yeah. Well, it's probably falling through because Brandon Sanderson, good on him. But hey, at this point, he's got enough books out there and enough fans where he doesn't need a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure the Stormlight Archive, right? The Stormlight Archive was bought by a studio, but they didn't make a movie in time. And so back in the day, he was willing to sell it because he didn't have very many books yet. He didn't have very much money. He sold the rights. Thankfully, they didn't get a movie out in time because probably it would have been bad.
Yeah.
But because now he's being like very, very staunch and very picky.
Yeah.
And
right. He's picking the right cast. We're gonna do a horrible job. We're just gonna pick actors we think, you know, that we did a few hours of research on.
So my theory is
depth.
Because my theory is there's tons of people coming at Brandon Sanderson saying, we'll make a movie. And he's like, well, I want to be a big part of it, guys. And they're like, we don't like it when the authors are part of our movie. Sorry.
Exactly. But I'm excited to talk about this. I think there's a few characters that have potential who could be interesting. And we're only really going to focus in on three characters, three who I think are the most important, not just to the first book, but to all three. And that's going to be Vin, Kelsier, and Elend. Is that how you say name? Elend? You know,
you can say it however you want.
Right. I've never said these names out loud. I just read the book. I don't even say it in my head. I just see the name, you know? Mm-hmm. So this is all new. But we're going to start with Elend because he's the one I was honestly most confident on. Still not confident. This is like a 10% confidence, but it's higher than my other two. And it's a character you'll be very familiar with, Jerem. And that's Finn Wolfhard.
Okay, I'm going to have to look him up.
You'll know exactly who he is. Finn Wolfhard is in Stranger Things. Did you look up who he is?
This guy for Elend?
Yeah. And let me tell you why. Okay? Because
I like the pointy nose. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Vin, Kelsier, a lot of characters in this book are very hard, lived on the streets. They need to have like a hard look, or they don't have any innocence. And they're just hard, you know? But Elend has a lot of innocence to him, a lot of hope, a lot of ideas. And it's hard to find a character that will fit him correctly, because he needs to be able to have that look about him, that joy almost, that innocence, and that hope. And I felt like Finn, at least in the movies and TV shows I've seen, he's very jovial, happy about things. He's good at playing that character. That's why I have him there. And he's around the age Elend is supposed to be. I think Elend is supposed to be like 22, 23. And so I don't think he'd be perfect. I don't think any of these would be perfect. That's why I said this is my 10% confidence rate right here. But I think you would be good, personally. And he's got a little bit of a nerdy look to him. Elend is kind of a library nerd. He's reading a lot. Just my ideas. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he kind of does have that princely look to him. With the curly hair and the pointy nose. The first thing I think of is his nerdiness from the other show, but he is a really good actor. I think it would be a good choice for the start of the story.
Right.
Having this guy and then having him grow up along with the series. He kind of like he kind of did with Stranger Things, but now he's older and then growing up some more.
Right.
They just need to tell him to eat a little bit more food, get some more rice and beans in him.
I don't know. I don't think he's supposed to be big, so.
Just in my mind, he gets stronger throughout the series.
Yeah. He's definitely supposed to grow into the character, right? He kind of starts a little awkward, a little standoffish or antisocial to the rest of the world, which is why I think he'd be perfect at the beginning. But he'll have to recognize that his character changes, and he's going to have to change how he acts as the movies go, right? If he can do that, I don't know. But he'd start off great.
Yeah, he needs to just puff up his chest a little bit,
Right.
and
Right.
lift up his head. He could do it.
And the confidence would have to come in, right? The leadership aspect that's not there in the beginning, and I haven't seen him play that role in other films. I don't know if he can or not, but he'd have to learn that and become that as more movies come, right? But he starts off, I feel like, almost like the movies I've seen him in, right? So I like princely nerdy. That's what I'm looking for.
Nice.
Yeah. We can get into the second character that I'm thinking about, and that's Kelsier, who is obviously a major impact in these books, in this series. Kelsier has had a very hard life. He in himself is a very staunch man, but he does have that spark to him, that fun side, that jovial side, where he's trying to keep everybody upbeat and not depressed by the Lord Ruler. And so that makes his character very unique and hard to find an actor that can fill that role that is looking happy on the outside, but you can see like in his eyes that he's had a hard life. Like that kind of look is hard to come by, and I definitely have not perfected, and that's why I have two, because I'm not sure. My first option is Garrett Hedlund. Do you remember who that is?
Let me look it up.
You'll remember. He's from Tron Legacy. He's the main character in Tron Legacy. Do you remember him? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is one of the ideas, one of the actors that came to my mind, because just those aspects I talked about, being very staunch, but jovial, being able to have an upbeat. Because in Tron he plays a very like serious but a little bit funny character, and so I wonder if he could switch it a little bit and be a little more on the upbeat, funny side, but still have that serious vibe to him. Does that make sense? So he's one of my ideas. Let me tell you my other idea, and then let me get your thoughts on who you think would be better.
All right.
The other idea is Anthony Starr. Do you know who that is? Anthony Starr is
Oh my gosh.
in the TV series The Boys, where he's what's his name?
But he's evil.
Yeah, he's evil. But what's his name in the evil guy? Homelander. He plays Homelander. Yeah. So he plays Homelander, and that's where a lot of people know him. And the reason I picked him is because he's obviously he's evil, but the personality is almost similar to what I imagine Kelsier being. So we want Kelsier to be upbeat and funny, but also have that serious edge to him. And in Homelander, that's kind of what he plays. He's a funny character, kind of, but also he's obviously evil and very serious and just like kills people on a whim for fun. I think if he can flip that a little bit, kind of like Garrett Hedlund, if you can flip it a little bit to the good side, where he's happy with a little bit of the serious edge, he could be great as Kelsier. Plus, there's not too much change with him. He'd only be really in the first movie because he, spoiler alert, he dies in the books. Hope you knew that. So if he just plays that character for one movie, we're good.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to take him away from that spot that he has
You know.
in The Boys. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I would, if I was casting, I would just look for people I've that didn't exist
Right.
before.
Right.
That would be the best choice. Like Tom Holland didn't exist before Spider-Man. Now he's
True.
Spider-Man
Maybe
before
maybe I
anything
should have
else.
led with that. Maybe I should have led with that because we'll talk about that more with Vin. But before I move on to Vin, did you have any more thoughts on Kelsier?
Definitely. I really liked your first choice, Garrett Hedlund.
Hmm.
Uh, he definitely looks a little bit younger
Yeah.
than the Homelander dude, and I think younger is better. I also like these pictures I'm looking up of him, of his long hair and,
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
nice beard. I feel like somebody, he has to look clean. He has to look
Right.
slick.
Charismatic.
Yes,
Hmm.
like he looks like he's having fun, and he
Right.
can he can own everything
Right.
until
But he can be
he's
serious.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I think that's
Yeah.
that's a pretty solid
Okay.
choice.
Okay. We'll stick to Garrett Hedlund then. I think I agree with you. That's the guy I'm leaning more towards.
Hmm.
But I thought Anthony would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, let's get into Vin. You were talking about the best case scenario. The best case scenario would be someone basically brand new who,
Mm.
like a Tom Holland, he became Spider-Man and now he's this big actor, but no one really knew him before that.
Hmm.
Uh, so with Vin, I did put best case scenario, some new actor that we don't really know.
Yeah.
And I do have a different actor in mind, but I don't know super well. But best case scenario, some new character that we don't know very well that becomes her role, her life basically. But if we can't have that, and we're going off of people we do know, this is a popular take, but I couldn't. It's so hard to find someone that fits Vin well, and I think the only reason I picked this person is because she has the ability to play a little darker characters, more beaten down, and that's Jenna Ortega. For those same obvious reasons, we've seen her in roles where she can play that serious, like downtrodden girl, and I think she'd have to take it a little further with Vin and a little more emotional with Vin. But starting off, she's not very emotional. She's just like, don't trust people. That's my life, you know? But also, I was thinking with Vin, that she's on the streets, but also she has to be in the ballroom. And I feel like Jenna Ortega would easily flip between those two characters like Vin does in the books, because in the books there's Vin on the streets, and then there's Violet, Violet the noble,
Mm.
and they're still similar characters, but there's still distinct differences in how she is herself in those different scenarios. And I think Jenna Ortega would be able to play those distinct roles but same character really well. What do you think?
I think it's a good choice. She's a little bit iconic at this point.
Right.
It's hard
That's why it's a popular
again.
take.
Again, it's hard to split my brain away from what
Right.
the things that she's done.
Right.
Um, but it's a good choice. I think maybe she's a little bit too pretty, but maybe that's the point.
Mhm. But she
Uh,
doesn't have to be. That could be easily changed, right? That's why I said the distinct different characters, because when she's on the street as Vin, she can be more covered in grease and dirt and whatever. And then at the ball, be Violet, right?
mm.
Hmm.
All right, so I did look up one choice for Vin. What do you think of Willow Shields?
Willow
So look her
Shields.
up. She hasn't been in a lot.
Willow Shields. I think might have looked her up during this. I don't know her very well, but it looks like she's in Hunger Games.
Yeah, so she played Prim in Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
She is
Gotcha.
25 years old right now. That's a
Oh,
little old.
that is.
But probably so is
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega, probably. All these actors, they're old, but they
Right.
look young.
Right. But my guess is they'll probably age her up in the movies a little bit, or age Ellen down, because I think Vin is like 16 and Ellen is like 23
Hmm.
in the books.
Oh.
So I feel like they wouldn't do that in the movies.
Hmm.
Or like 17 and 23 or something. But yeah.
I definitely think Willow Shields has a good look, like a good Vin look. All you need to do is dye her hair.
Yeah.
And at the ending of Hunger Games, she becomes a leader in her own sense of leading the troops of the healers, the healing part of the army, which you don't see a lot of at the end of Hunger Games, but she does carry herself stronger at the end of Hunger Games compared to the beginning, where she's very weak
And timid. Yeah.
and needs Katniss to save her. And
Yeah.
at the end, she's like, "I got this. Like, you've been away for some time, and I've had to take control of some things." And so, I think she'd be able to play both sides of that as well.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good option because she's not nearly as iconic as Jenna Ortega
Yeah,
right now.
she hasn't been in a
And
lot,
with
but also I don't know. I don't know her range. She'd have to
Right.
have an audition.
Right, exactly. Which is why Brandon Sanderson wants to be in charge, because he has a vision for the characters, and I trust him honestly. Haven't seen him made a single movie, but for some reason, full faith.
Yeah, someone else could do Vin, but she's way too iconic. Is Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah,
She's also getting old.
yeah, I saw that as an option, but yeah, she's just too many other things going on. I think
But she's a good actor. That's the thing.
she is a good actor, but I think too iconic in different roles right now.
Yeah.
And I want Mistborn to be popular because it's Mistborn, not because and people to go to it because it's Mistborn, not because Millie Bobby Brown is the main character, Which
Yeah.
Jen Ortega would have similar pull, but not nearly as much as Millie Bobby Brown. I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah. So, and then same with the other actors, even like Finn Wolfhard, right? You didn't know his name, right? And he's also a main character in Stranger Things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna really remember
Yeah.
lots of names, but
Right.
I
But,
call
like,
people
he
by
wouldn't
their
have the
names
same
from
pull
their
either.
movies.
Right. But yeah, he wouldn't have the same pull either as Millie Bobby Brown. And same with the two Kelsier options that I had. But I mean, I personally, my favorite one out of this list, honestly, now that we've talked about it more, is Garrett Hedlund. I just, for some reason, I can see him in that Kelsier role.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw when I was looking these up, people were like, Henry Cavill for Kelsier. I was like,
it's a
No.
little too big.
I think that's too, and he's just like I only ever see him as like a good guy, you know. I don't like I've seen him play bad characters, but it's still hard to like imagine. And Kelsier would have to. I think he's just out of Henry Cavill's range. Respect to Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill, I feel like, has his very like his characters, and that's it, right?
On another note, animated is a really good way to go, I think, as well with Mistborn, because there's
Yeah.
a lot behind the scenes with the magic that would be honestly really cool with animated. Because in live action, all you do is you see them take a drink like that. But if it had it animated, you could zoom up on the thing and then watch it go down their stomach or something, and like see inside their internal organs where it's flames up, and then you see the blue lines shoot out from everywhere towards them. Imagine that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, you could take some liberties with that just fine, I feel like, in a live action. I feel like it would. I want this to, because Brandon Sanderson and this Mistborn series, is a more serious, like, darker tone series. I I want it to be live action because I want it to be like more PG-13, like high-end PG-13 kind of movie. And I feel like cartoon would kind of take away from that, you know?
No, it doesn't
I
have
think
to.
so.
You should watch Arcane and
Yeah.
then change your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think when they make originals like this, I feel like it needs to be live action because otherwise, if they do make a live action in the future, it's going to be horrible. You know,
I
because it's going to be a reboot of a
I think
cartoon.
the ideal is doing a Way of Kings live action TV show first,
Mhm.
Game of Thrones style, and then having a Mistborn animated show from the world of Way of Kings. I think that would be a good way
Interesting.
to advertise
I
it.
uh, I think the idea would just be like an MCU, but the Stormlight archive.
Yeah, maybe we need more animated ones in the MCU. They have What If, kind of.
That's true.
Hey, man, and
I
there's
mean, I
zombies
guess,
in that. They cut people's heads off in that. It's PG-13.
right, but it doesn't
Could
hit
be
as hard.
bloody.
Yeah. I mean, either would be good, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the day when a movie is actually made, whether it's Mistborn, Way of Kings, some other series, Elantris, whatever it is.
Fun fact: Disney bought Steelheart, and then
Oh, they did.
they didn't make a movie because they bought Marvel right afterwards,
Oh, okay.
and they said
Well,
no
that
superhero movies except Marvel.
okay. Well, Steelheart isn't part of the Cosmere, so I honestly wouldn't mind if some random company just took that one and ran with it just for
Yeah,
that series. I think that would be great. But anything to do with like the Cosmere, like, got to
needs
get
to
it
be
all
protected.
right. But yeah, but Steelheart, yeah, make that movie.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay, well, let us know in the comments who you guys think should be casted in these Vin Kelsier Elend roles. We know we missed a lot of different potential casts in this movie. There's a whole bunch of other characters, like Sazed is another important one that I was thinking about, but he was too hard, so I left him off the list. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and like and subscribe this video so we can keep it up and come up with more what if cast scenarios. And we'll see y'all in the next video.